Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We gonna light it up. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We gonna light it up.
Ember.
Oh, Ember.
Miss Ember.
Oh, great Ember, tell me what I'm doing.
Appreciate you, Ember.
Love Ember. She's great.
Bottom of the barrel Ember bullshit.
Oh my God, Ember.
Ember.
We love you, Ember.
You rock at that, Ember.
Ember is the queen.
We're neighbors, Ember.
I see you, Ember.
Hey, Ember is hot.
Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday.
You didn't know it was gonna be on here, huh?
I know you snuck right in.
The best one was Ember is hot. That was the best one.
I love that one.
Ember is hot.
I also like Mark. Mark cracks me up every time. Because it's like, Ember, please tell me what I'm doing. Help.
When he did Ken Hovind for the Halloween for your fundraiser, oh man, I died for like 3 days.
That's an idea.
That was perfect.
If I think of it, I'll mention it to him. It's, in fact, you know, someone else mentioned it to him, so I don't have to try to remember.
I was sure maybe I can, but yeah, that was solid gold.
Hell, oh my goodness, it's so funny. But also, since you mentioned the fundraiser, everybody, fundraiser Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Join us. Fuck tons of cool guests. We're raising hell for Helen. I'll put the link in the chat now. Helen, much like myself, has had some medical issues recently and lost a lot of income and has huge medical bills at the same time. And so we're doing a fundraiser about it. And we've got a bunch of cool guests. There may even be more people who aren't even confirmed yet. But just to name the ones that I know about, Richard Gulliver, Glenda Jordan, Dr. Kip, Dr. Josh, Chad Harris, Dr. Ben, Bree, Mark Reed, David Fitzgerald, Cynthia McDonald, Mandisa Thomas, Brentley the Punk Apostate, Eli Slack, and Steve Jacadis. Oh, plus me and AJ, of course, because we're hosting. So there's
those are all my family. That's all my family in one setting.
I know. It's going to be really, really fun. I hope you join us. And
I gotta work.
Share that the fundraiser is happening, because telling other people is the only way people will come and help Helen. And I have such a tiny channel. I want to do a good job for helping Helen.
Ryan, I saw that.
Bigger than mine. I'm going to share it with Dr. Kip will also be in being with me later on today, and so we can talk about it as well on my
is that who you've got on later? I know you have a show coming up later, because I set up the forward to go to it.
Yes, I have Dr. Kip coming on. Yes, that's
all right.
Yes,
it'll be metal.
Yeah, we'll have fun. And I will be in the side chat on Friday, and I will do a little clip like I did for yours as well. Because
hell yeah, that'll be really cool.
He's actually here.
Oh yes, maybe Dr. Josh. I expect him to show up, but he's so unreliable. 27 children, something.
Tell him if he shows up, I'll name my next dog Dr. Josh.
I'm telling you, it doesn't matter what gender dog-shaped Dr. Josh is. There has to be a bow tie.
Yes, of course. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't have a Dr. Josh without a bow tie. Gotta have a bow tie.
Oh goodness. Alrighty, so I have other news, folks, because I just cannot ever focus on the thing I'm supposed to be doing. And so I accidentally made a thing. I thought of something funny. And so I added a new merch to the store. Now, this is the YouTube page version of the store. You can also find the store on betterthanember.com. But right here on the YouTube page, I made a dark energy vessel.
That looks like mermaidish.
Oh, it's not. It's still right up my alley.
It's not though, but
the formula for dark energy on top of the cosmic microwave background, because that's what's causing the CMB to be the wavelength it is dark energy. It's the expansion of the universe. So it's a photo of dark energy and the formula for dark energy on a coffee mug. So it's a dark energy vessel. I know, I think I'm very funny, but
I love it.
There it is. I'm such a nerd. Oh, I did a talk with Secular Rarity yesterday. He's been doing stuff for his Sirius nonprofit.
Yeah.
And we were talking about the joys of being wrong, because that's one of the cool things about being a skeptic, right? Is you get to accept that you've made a mistake, so you can stop being wrong. And as an added bonus, you get to learn cool new things, right? When we're not all defensive about like, oh, well, the book said the thing and it can't possibly be right. There's a lot of joy in being wrong. So I'm trying to be all philosophical and social dynamics type stuff to convince people to accept their inner skeptic and whatnot. And SR frickin' brings me right back around into science, and suddenly we're talking about singularities and shit. And I'm like, damn it, you've outed me as a nerd.
I have that cat already out of the bag.
It might be 3 nerds over here.
It's a distinct possibility. But yeah, I made an overlay to promo the damn thing. Because again, I cannot focus on just one thing. No, well, now it's covering y'all's faces. We can't have that. Okay. There we go. All right. So let me see. Do I have anything?
So here's the thing. Are you the bigger nerd for making that, or am I the bigger nerd for instantly recognizing what it was?
Perhaps that one's a draw.
Yeah, I think so. I didn't realize until you zoomed in on it better.
It was, I mean, well, let me see if I can do like a closer up, but like it's
Yeah, when you
limited.
did that, that's when I realized what it was when you did that. I was like, okay. But it was
Yeah,
like far away. I didn't understand that.
because the whole thing wraps around. I can't show you the whole thing at once.
Yeah.
Because I'm evil and made it that way.
No, it's a full
But, like,
nice mug.
I thought
I
it was
love
pretty
that.
neat, and it's available in 3 colors. Originally, I was just going to do the black because having the black on the inside amused me. But then I'm like, you know what? Let's add the CMB colors. Like,
That
okay,
That's so awesome.
that purple is the fire one right there. That's the one.
I like the purple one. I would normally go with black, but I like the purple.
The purple. That's the one I would get.
it's technically dark blue, but it's as close to purple as I could pull off.
Whatever
I
it is.
It looks nicely,
Yeah.
but you know, I'm also. Have you seen my fashion sense? Maybe don't trust me on what things look nice, but yeah.
I mean, you've been having some fire stuff on sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes, almost as if it's by accident.
I just grab a t-shirt, so
That's what I did today. I'm like, I can just put on this pinkish shirt. It'll go with my hat. It'll be fine. Mostly because I was gonna plan an outfit. I love it when I get to plan an outfit that goes along with the theme of the episode. But then I had the bright idea of calling into the damn show, which is on just before this show, because the topic of the day was women in the Bible. And everyone who was called, okay, there was one caller who was talking about women in the Bible, and she had some really cool lore. It was really neat to hear about. But like all the other callers, okay, Kermit the Peterson was fucking hilarious. But all the other callers, in any case, there weren't a lot of women in the Bible. So I'm like, let's talk women in the Bible. So I distracted myself from getting dressed. I probably need a prescription. I'm uncontrollable. I cannot focus, but I did manage to focus enough to put together research for this show. So we can, in fact, answer the question. And well, it's 2 questions because I had ADHD about the title too. The first city. What was the first city? What was it like? And also, why are there cities? It turns out you need one question to answer the other. So we're kind of doing both today. It's fun. So why are there cities? Obviously. Not all humans live in cities, but cities are the defining element of what it means to have a civilization. Cities mean emergent specializations and rapid advances in technology and science and knowledge generally. Cities aren't just market sites, though some certainly start out that way, but places where there is enough cumulative wealth for things like physicians and scholars to happen. They are what make it so we don't all have to be farmers just to sustain ourselves. Unfortunately, they also make it possible for unscrupulous jerks to become parasitic on the emergent systems we construct for the benefit of all of us, but that is another story. To really get into why there are cities, we first have to clarify what a city even is. We all know that NYC is a city and Arlo, New York is very much not. But what about that space in between? Where does a settlement become a city? In the 1890s, there were still working farms in Manhattan, so it isn't urban areas with no agriculture. The tallest structure at the time was the Trinity Church, so no skyscrapers. So where is the line where you go from a random collection of buildings to a municipality? As is often the case, the answers we seek are buried in the ruins of the past we're only just now rediscovering as we continue to recover from multiple dark ages. So, as they say, let's dig into it. Now, before I start opening videos and articles and so forth, what are your thoughts? Why do we have cities, folks?
Because people don't want to drive 30 minutes to go get food. They like having something right by them.
But when cities first happened, they didn't have all that luxury, everything. You had to make their own stuff. It was just a community where everybody got together and they kind of had like everything in a close knit area, you know.
I think that's more of a modern thing. That's like one of the reasons why people move to cities, but like why that's taking advantage of what already exists. But like why do, like, people had to know they were making themselves vulnerable, like in an age when there's roving armies and well, probably just raiding parties, but they may as well be armies since your village has like 12 people in it. But whatever, there's like, you put yourselves at risk by putting you
But don't it have to,
wealth in one place with everyone else.
in order to be a city, it has to be so many people, right? Because it was like, I know it's townships because it's not enough people to make actual a city. And they must have had the same accord. They like when they were settlers in the frontier, when they were trying to find area, a lot of them probably just got up together. And a lot, I'm gonna bring up the saloons, and a lot of them, they was able to bar, and then the women, I can't think of who you call those, the barmaids or the prostitutes at the time. They actually brought a lot of people to that area. So they, the West got the West was one.
Prostitutes is okay. So you've got all the farms in an area. Everybody's doing their farm thing, but they need to trade because the dude who has corn has no lamb, and the dude who has lamb has no corn. So they have to trade, and everybody kind of meets in the middle. And the very first building set up next to the farmer's market, poorhouse. It could be.
I found that out that a lot of times the prostitutes of the time was the one who actually helped build the city out of the cities, because they were putting money back in.
That would make it the oldest profession. I could also see
schools, schools and everything.
Someone to oversee the market and make sure that people aren't stealing from other people, to make sure, and then lawyers to make sure the rules of trade are fair, and then somebody invents money, and then you have like a whole fucking industry dealing with the money. And so, like, yeah, I could see like corporatization pretty quickly. But speaking of money, collapsalism is throwing money in my general direction. Take my hated money, he says. Thank you, Collapse. If you are the Lilith that banned me in the past, sad face. I'm dope as fuck. Also, thank you, Ember. I love affirmation because Kermit voice hurts. I feel that. There's times when I try like really, really hard to voice train, and people are like, Ember, I can tell your voice hurts. You don't have to do that. And I'm like, thank you. I do appreciate it though. It was Kermit Peterson. It was just so funny.
Oh my god! Yeah, I heard that one. That one's good.
Also, $2 to say, nope, you're not the Lilith, not the evil Lilith. Well, I mean, you're the evil Lilith, but you're not this specific evil.
I might be evil. I'm not mean though.
Fuck with you.
All right. Well, thank you for those. I very much appreciate super chats. They do help a lot. Believe it or not, folks, my entire income is from online stuff. The merch sales at the store, stuff on the channel, Patreon subscribers, and Venmo donations, and all that assorted stuff. It's all linked in the description if you want to help me, continue living so I can make more of these shows. I very, very much appreciate it. But of course, no obligation. I'm very poor myself. I can't even afford memberships to other channels. It sucks. We all do what we can, but there are free ways to help if you want. You can for one thing hit the subscribe button. That really, really helps. Not. Also, liking and commenting go a long way to telling the algorithm to pay attention. But most of all, the share button. Yes. Spread the means of production and do a socialism and spread it around. Send these videos to people who will love them or to people who will hate them, because the people who hate them will talk in the comments. I holy shit.
That's funny though.
It helps ever so much. So yeah, there's options. Thank you.
Oh, actually.
Thank you. Collapsalism sends another $8. That's it. I'm not sure how you did that, but thank you. And says, more money, you say, Ember?
I like you already.
Thank you. I know. I've seen him in a couple chats saying, I hate money, take this. Which is fair, because capitalism is awful, but we need to afford food. Because we don't have sustainable farms anymore. Which is a sad.
Come here. Come on. Come on.
Are we about to have a sugar?
Yes. She is like looking at me. Come on. What you want, honey? What you want, baby? Come on. You're the one that's looking at me like you lost your mind. Come on. This shows.
Wait, sugar is fucking adorable. There she is.
Sugar. Oh,
I love you.
my dogs are being butt munches, so I don't think they're gonna make an appearance. They're
I
mad at
don't
me.
know what the hell. It just seems like whenever I come in here, this room, she goes like crazy. Then I'm by myself too today. But my kids have been really good.
Another $2. Saying I want all the sugar.
Here.
All of it.
She's
She's
fucking
sweet.
adorable.
She's sweet. She's a sweet girl.
I used to have a dog. It was like a half breed. It was like a half poof dog and half kick me dog. I forget the brands, but he looked very much like Sugar. We called him Leo because he thought he was a cat. He even used the litter box.
You see what Drew said? Sugar is a bot made of maple candy floss.
Oh.
I don't know. Sugar just want all the attention.
Oh goodness, that's amazing.
I don't know.
Yeah, Kip's not having it today. She's mad at me right now.
Oh, because Kip usually be all up on you.
Yeah, she's mad at me. I wouldn't give her a hash brown.
Oh well, in fairness,
I don't blame her. Yeah.
If I give her a hash brown, then I have to give Daisy one, and then I have to give Pixie one, and before long, I don't get any. So
it's valid. It's sort of like children. Did you know that children expect to be fed every day?
More than once
every
a day.
single day.
And more
multiple
than once.
times a day.
I used to hate that, like when my kids was little growing up, and so I'm like, okay, let's go to the store and everybody get a snack. Did they eat their snack and be happy? No, they was mad because they wanted my snack too.
So this morning, I was going to go get my youngest asked me if I would go get him a coffee. I'm like, yeah, if you come with me, we'll go get coffee. And then my mom asked me to get them breakfast. And then my oldest son asked me to go get breakfast. So I ended up getting breakfast for the whole family when I was just going to go get coffee.
I think we have consensus on the hash browns issue.
Mm-hmm.
Give me some home fries, the diced potatoes.
I only have this little egg sandwich before the show, so I can take my morning medicine. Oh, I should have snacks ready. But then I would turn back into Fat Ember. I'd be like,
I'm starting to become Fat Kelly. Fat Queen.
Don't get me wrong. Past Ember was fucking delightful, but she's the reason I have medical issues. Well, some of my medical issues. You know what? Let's go to cities.
Cities. Yeah, we were doing a thing, right? Like it's not like tangents are a thing here.
I know. I mean, it is true that people do come here for the tangents. We literally have merch for that too. And also emojis.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally emojis. Tangents. It's sort of our specialty. Scholarship and tangents. I should just rename the channel and it'd be more accurate. It really would. It's fine though. Okay, so we're gonna start out with another super chat from Collapsalism, who says $2. Thank you. And says French toast, fresh fruit, and anything else I'll cook.
I'm coming over your house now. I'm on my way.
I know.
Give me your address. Give me your address.
We're gonna hop in the car or teleport. We need to teleport. I need to know how to teleport. That would be mighty, mighty handy.
Because I need to know what dimension I belong in. Because it's not the right dimension for me.
Oh goodness.
You get your ass here. Here I come. I'm trying.
Oh goodness. Oh, we've summoned Tommy. Scholarship, tangents, or tangership, tangership.
Oh, shit.
That's a whole. Would it be tangentology, do you suppose?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
More about these cities.
Yeah, let's find out why the hell do we have cities?
Living costs are higher, air quality is worse, surroundings are more crowded, crime is more prevalent, and disease
and rent is higher. And yeah, other things. Plebsalism says $2. Thank you so much. Says, sorry, honeys, you got to be ready for good things.
Yeah, I can absolutely, yeah, I agree with that. Be ready for good things. Good things pop up occasionally that you are not expecting.
Every now and then. In
oh
fact,
yes.
Okay, another little bit of insight about what's going on at the Ember store. Let me switch back over here. Okay, so here's the actual store. The links on the website or on YouTube will bring you to the store, probably a specific item in the store. The Dark Energy vessel is newest.
Okay.
I need to get the dress.
Yeah, okay, I see you.
Oh, did you not see the dress?
I did not see the dress. I see it now. Okay.
Yeah. I actually took it off the YouTube store because nothing was happening. People weren't even clicking on it. But it's still on the store. It's just not promoted on YouTube. Because I need to focus on the stuff that's doing stuff. Because I need money to afford food and medicine.
Like that flag though. The flag is cool.
The flag, right. The flag, even though I put it out almost a month ago, it's starting to get some traction. I don't know why, but the last 3 nights in a row, 4 or more of them have sold.
Nice.
I don't know, but I'm not mad about it. That it's starting to make a big deal, right? So my brain, being what it is like, I don't know if it's going to gain more traction or if it's just going to peter off, but people clearly like pride flags made of space stuff. I mean, I did enough to rebuild the damn thing. So I've started putting together other pride flags made of space stuff. I'm starting with my own stuff, of course. I made the intersex one. I made the trans one. I'm working on the ace one. But I'm going to build a few of the more popular ones and see how they do. I don't want to dump them all at once and make everybody's head spin. But yeah, they're not posted yet because we have a show to do. But I didn't want to wash out the whole Dark Energy vessel thing because stepping on your own joke is a really bad idea. But there's more flags coming, so stay tuned.
I'll get the ace one.
I know. I'm so tempted to do the ace flag normally and then put the garlic bread emoji in the middle of it.
Oh, that'll be cute.
I don't know if anybody will get it or if people will get mad about it, but
not me.
I don't wanna. Maybe I'll do 2 versions, with and without garlic bread. Oh my goodness. My goodness. All right, Sapphire sends the super chat for $2. Thank you. And says, the world sucks, but y'all are treasures. Thank you. And that's an important thing. We're trying to not just learn stuff, but add positivity to the world where possible. But also, it's an important lesson. Find the people around you that in this darkness glow like bonfires and hold them close, because that's what'll keep you warm in the coldness of night. I'm trying so hard not to mix my metaphors and it's not working. Bonfires are warm though, at least on the side facing the bonfire. You have to rotate yourself every so often. Are you muted, Lil?
Yes.
Now you're muted. There you
Sorry,
go.
Yip was being loud.
It happens.
Mm-hmm.
Collapsalism sends us $5 and says, they call my hands the pride flag. Equal rights and lefts. I'll see myself out. That was punderful. I mean, I'm a sucker. The worse pun, the better. I don't know why people think puns are the lowest form of humor because Shakespeare said they're the highest form of wit, which is true. Like a joke, a typical joke, you just have to say a non sequitur with comedic timing, you know? But a pun, you have to actually think about, you know? I'm probably biased. I grew up with Shakespeare, so, you know. Puns are sort of like the whole thing in Shakespeare.
I have Romeo and Juliet tattooed right here, so I'm a Shakespeare buff.
Like the whole play?
No, it's just the two names. It's
okay.
Well, yeah, I read Romeo that way, and then Juliet that way.
Oh, it's an ambigram.
Yeah.
Sick.
And then you'd see it better usually, but yeah, that's just
Fucking cool. Now I can't shrink you again. This is a recurring problem. I make her real big. I can't make her. She's like, I will not be small. Do not silence me, girl.
People who know me, especially in real life, know you cannot get me to shut up most of the time. I go and you can't get me to stop.
Isn't it interesting that we spend all our adult lives trying to get out of the boxes society tries to force us into, and then we get on YouTube and put ourselves in fucking boxes. Here I am in a fucking box. Damn it, Ember.
Accept the box.
Well, the trick is make your own box, because boxes actually can be pretty cozy. As a child, as much as I raged about being stuck in boxes, even as a child, I fucking love cardboard boxes, real boxes. Like when appliances came or something, and it was a box you could like get inside of. I know why humans became cave people, because like there's that cat-like instinct to have a small confined space you can look out at the world from. You feel safer, you know?
Yeah.
I'm hip. I probably need to adjust my meds.
No. I don't think so.
It's fine. All right, cities
is more easily spread. If the population of the world spread itself out evenly, every single person would have 5 acres to live on. But we don't. We live in a world where half the population lives on just 1% of the land. 54% of the world population now lives in cities.
Now, as in almost 10 years ago, but you know.
And that's significant. 55 years ago, only half that lived a city life. The urban...
That's not half, bestie, but I do understand sort of why people are like, we need to go back to the 50s, because in the 50s, the cities were still big cities. You still had Broadway and shit, but suburbs. Like, it was all suburbs, and people are like, I don't want to live in an apartment that cost me 5 times as much as my grandparents paid for their house, and I have one room, the bathroom, the toilet is next to the oven, which is next to the bed. Not fucking cool. And I have a noisy upstairs neighbor who has dance parties at 3 a.m. It's not good. We want to go back to the damn suburbs. In fact, we want to go back to the fucking caves if we can keep our cozy indoor heating and plumbing and microwaves and things, you know, and snacks. We got to keep our snacks.
The organization of the world is changing the world. But why do cities even exist? Humans were originally hunter-gatherers. They scavenged for food and often didn't live in a set place, similar to...
Well, okay. We have to pick a starting point, so I'll just grant that one. But humans were originally primates, like every other primate. Would you describe a bonobo as a hunter-gatherer? Because technically they do, but like... like in order to be hunter-gatherers, that's a function of culture, right? You have a hunter-gatherer culture. So first you have to have a culture, but whatever. I'm probably nitpicking too much.
How animals live. But then in 10,000 BC, we learned to farm. The domestication of plants allowed humans to finally settle down in one singular place and establish a long-term home. But farming was nothing like it is today. The humans of the era lacked technology and expertise. The first archaeological evidence of...
Also, we have 10, 12,000 years of cultivation, of artificial selection changing the very things we're growing for food. The things we grow for food today mostly do not exist in the wild. There are wild strawberries, but they're not much like our strawberries in the supermarkets. There are wild bananas. They're nothing like our bananas. And so forth.
Plowed fields, a process that greatly improves crop yields, doesn't appear until about 3000 BC. It took thousands more years for farmers to successfully domesticate animals like the ox to pull a plow. When humans first began farming...
Okay, important note there. Domesticating the ox and domesticating the ox to pull a plow are very different things. Like, we could domesticate dogs fairly easily. We said, hey, pretty wolf, I have a snack, I have a bone, what up? Like, yeah, if you provide more food than hunting does, wolves will come live with you and sometimes even not eat your face. So, like, you can domesticate things, but then training them to do stuff, that's a whole other matter.
Yeah, but like dogs are getting doctorates now.
I've heard that rumor. In fact, I believe we have a short documentary about that. I really got to put these things in order so I can find them faster. Okay, there it is. Here we go.
Meet Kip, named after a biblical scholar. Holds 0 degrees, yet remains deeply authoritative. At Kip Academy, she teaches advanced disciplines like ethical trait distribution, comparative couch theology, and vigorous face licking. Questioning authority is encouraged. Not all treats are created equal. Each snack undergoes rigorous evaluation using the sniff, lick, and stare methodology. Some are rejected, some are accepted, some are declared non-canonical. Ask Kip about theology, ask Kip about life, ask Kip if you should go outside. She will not answer, but she will judge you. Kip, named for a scholar, correct about vibes.
I failed ethical treat distribution this morning.
Because I didn't laugh, but this was a Super Bowl ad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was. Yes.
Nearly every individual had to farm in order to make enough food to live. One person's work essentially produced one person's food. But through time, as technological advancements occurred, progressively each individual was able to make more and more food. Thanks to that, farmers today each feed 155 people. The process has
12,000 years. And don't get me wrong, one person feeding 155 people is fucking cool, but there's 8 billion of us. 12,000 years. That is a cool number. But in 12,000 years, I dare say, and remember, a big part of that is only from the 20th century on, when we discovered an industrial process for pulling nitrogen out of the atmosphere so we could make, our industrial fertilizers. The number shot way the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
So most of 12,000 years, what were we fucking doing?
It's also become so efficient that only 1 acre of land is now needed to feed one person. But back in the early days of farming, when technology had advanced to the point where one person made more than one person's food, for the first time ever, there were some people who didn't need to farm. And that fact changed humanity. If that had never happened, we would all still be living in ancient history. The surplus...
Well, no, I mean, it would be today, and like time would still be time, even if there weren't humans here. We wouldn't have the calendars, which we made up, but like the Earth would still be at this point in this number of orbits around the universe doesn't care, but never mind.
The food and the development of cities really went hand in hand. It had never before been possible for humans to live in dense urban conglomerations because they needed land to farm. But these extra...
That's not strictly true. There are a few ancient cities where they had like the houses were like on the cliffs, and then they had paths and like farmland for days, right? Like, so you would live in town and you would go out with the dawn to go tend your field, and your neighbor would tend the next field, and his neighbor would tend the next, and so forth. So like, you don't necessarily have to not farm to live in a city.
People freed from farming were able to work jobs other than farming, which led to languages, literature, science, and really all the technological advancements that made our modern world. The space
Asterisk, because there were some technological advances that were necessary to make cities possible. And so certain things like the ability to carry water or possibly even make beer. Like, we make a big deal over the wheel and fire, but one of our earliest discoveries that made any technology possible was the ability to move water, to carry it with us, to I'm looking for the damn button. I really need to organize these. They're all over the damn place. We really needed to hydrate. Hey folks, I've been working hard on my health, and so far I've lost over 140 pounds. A huge part of good health is hydration. That's why I'm thrilled to partner with Epic Water Filters. Check this out. Not only can you say goodbye to expensive bottled water, but these filters are made in the US, so no tariffs, and they're made to fit your life. From these lovely pitchers I can fill from, to sink units, to portable filters that fit in your reusable bottle. With Epic, I can refill from nature's water sources and not have to worry about bacteria and whatnot. But also, send back a used filter to be responsibly recycled, and they'll send you a free replacement, saving you and the earth even more. Want to save a ton of money, be healthier, and build a better world? Head to epicwaterfilters.com and enter code EMBER15 at checkout for 15% off. Don't settle for random water. Upgrade to Epic. And while you're clicking around...
It's okay, you can touch it. You can touch it if you want to. I won't tell anybody. I won't hurt you.
Please do take a second to hit the subscribe button. It helps ever so much. And I wanted to get that while I had it like in my sights, because I love it. And also, in fairness, Bree is way more seductive than I am. All I can do is like just try to be pretty and occasionally show my boobie on screen.
Ooh, boobies.
Booby.
I have a very erect boobie, folks. It's and it's all Lil's fault.
Yes, it is. Very much so.
So yeah, cities. They tend to be built near water. Why? Well, I mean, fishermen villages, they're already a thing if you're going to hunt and gather in a fishing sense, but also trade. Like, even if you start out with like just a local farm market sort of thing, if you want to trade with other collections of farm markets and shit, you may want access to water. But also, most importantly, and the second piece of that hydration innovation, irrigation. Like, that's one of the things that made farming work year over year. Granted, it didn't come along for a couple more thousand years after the beginning of the agricultural revolution, but it's one of the things that made it more sustainable. For a very long time, we would just plant crops and pray to the gods and sacrifice some things, sometimes other things. Not going there today. But we were still somewhat at the mercy of the gods, right? Like, humans, pre-agricultural humans, totally in the hands of nature. If there was a famine, if there was a drought, people just died. We had no control. With farming, we had some control, but if there was a drought, you just died, or you migrated, one of those. But once we had irrigation, we had another barrier against the forces that be, the gods, the powers. It's taking humanity out of the hands of the gods and letting us chart our own destiny. Because while a bad drought, you're still going to lose your crop. But if it's only a mild drought with the power of irrigation, or Once you get into more industrialized societies with like road building and shit, aqueducts. Once you have aqueducts, it doesn't matter if you have a local drought because you can get water from where there is water. Haha. But that's later. But the point is, moving water around is every bit as important to our success as a species as our control of fire.
Spatial patterns of humans really happen quite naturally. Enough people are each making their decision on where to live that, in aggregate, humans are going to live in the best places to live. There's a sort of process of natural selection.
Well,
necessarily true.
It depends on your priorities. Like a lot of people who move to cities today, they're not interested in crowding and expensiveness and bad air. But if you want to say be a Broadway actor, you kind of have to live near Broadway. If you want to get into the movies, you have to live near Hollywood. You will not get apart ever. Like people have this dream of like, I'll be discovered by a scout. The scouts never leave LA. They don't have to because there's 4 million people there.
And that happens as billions of humans each pick their optimal place to live. Nothing is manufactured about where people live, and numbers back this up. You see, cities tend to stay at the same.
Well, you can engineer a city. The
Yes.
Soviet Union tried it. It doesn't go very well, but you can do it.
Rank throughout history. In 1800, the largest city in Europe was London. Today, the largest city in Europe is still London. In 1800, the second largest city in Europe was Paris, and it too remains second today. Cities grow, but those that were large in the past tend to stay large, at least without external influence. Cities don't just change ranking on their own. They change rank if something else changes. Hong Kong, for example, changed rank when a change in sovereignty to British drew people in, while with San
and a lot of cities, like we look at some of the ancient cities, the ruins and things, and we're like, wow, this was a huge, really cool, vibrant city. Why don't people live here now? Sometimes there's a reason. Sometimes it's climactic, right? Like a lot of the desert cities that we're finding today in arid land, it wasn't arid land at the time. It was arable land at the time. In other cases, sea level change. The ocean moves away, or the ocean eats where the ground you're built on is, or whatever. Like there are things that happen, but sometimes it's just a city was built somewhere arbitrarily, like, oh, it's near a river, good enough, and then an army rolls through and kills everyone in sight for the glory of whatever god they happen to be praising at the time, and then there's no one left to rebuild, and no one particularly cares to. Even when new humans move into the area, they build, a few miles upstream because shrug.
I've seen like some videos where you can see like these towns and everybody's left everything how it is because there's some radioactive problem or something like that, and they have to just get up and leave. And they have these wonderful cities that are built, and you look.
Oh yeah, Chernobyl is
Yeah.
It's spooky because it's so abandoned, and it's not the only place. There's abandoned spots all over the U.S. In Chicago, for example. Just north of there, I had to park my truck and wait for the next day to do a delivery. And so I did what I always do. I got out of the truck and I went wandering around with my camera to look for weird shit to photograph. And I found entire neighborhoods. Like there's sections of highway that just aren't highway anymore. They're still there, but they're like not connected to the highway network. But there's also whole neighborhoods that are just like sealed off all the way around. I don't know why, but like there's new stop signs and working streetlights and mailboxes that aren't like rusted and abandoned, but no one's there. The whole thing is sealed off. It's weird. It's spooky. It's creepy. It's probably haunted. It may be interdimensional travel. The people live in like the next dimension over. I don't know, but you don't have to go to Chernobyl to find abandoned places, is what I'm saying. So yeah, Deviant makes an excellent point. We are really far off from finding the first city. We're talking about why do people live in cities now? And that is not helpful. So let's switch to our next video and see if we can get a little closer to finding the first one.
Humans, Homo sapiens, have been roaming this planet for the last 300,000 years or so. For a majority of this time, up until 12,000 years ago, humans were hunter-gatherers. In fact, the practice of hunting and gathering goes back 2 million years to our pre-human ancestors.
This sounds vaguely similar to what we just covered, but perhaps it shall diverge momentarily.
Most humans in this era lived in...
Also, point of order, the cave paintings. You could make a case that since there is art at this point in history, thousands of years before the agricultural revolution, then that's a demonstration that people don't have to spend all day, every day hunting and gathering and or farming or whatever. There is some leisure time and there is some specialization of non-essential skills going on.
Mm-hmm.
Small groups of maybe 100 or so and lived a nomadic lifestyle. They had to have territories as large as 500 square miles to find all the food they needed to survive. Needless to say, this lifestyle didn't facilitate the construction of much human settlement. Human groups lived in caves, huts, or tents, temporary structures, really. But around 12,000 years ago, humans began what we today call the Neolithic Revolution. Those hunter-gatherers were familiar with cereal grains like wheat, barley, and rye. They began to understand how they grew and how to cultivate them. In the ideal conditions...
Now, it's also worth noting, knowing how to cultivate them, figuring out that if you plant the seed, the thing will grow, very cool. But you also need to know what to do with it, because wheat, barley, and rye are not plants that you can just eat. Like apples or something. Like you have to process them. You have to either make the bread or make the beer or whatever the hell it is you're doing. And so it's not just cultivating. There's also some other things that need to be figured out. So I suspect a lot of our prehistory, our far earliest moments of what seems like proto-history, we still have a lot to learn. For instance, some historians will say, you know, we had Göbekli Tepe. When we were in Göbekli Tepe the other day, we were talking about how there's bowls and jugs that are carved out of stone because they didn't have pottery. And some historians will make that point that we didn't have pottery until around 3000 BCE. Except we did have pottery as far back as 60,000 BCE because clay is fucking everywhere. And it doesn't take much to realize that you can shape wet clay and then dry it and it will hold the shape. It takes a little work to get the formula right so it won't crumble as soon as you add water back into it. But the point is, every culture in the world figured it out. We just didn't have like pottery wheels and proper kilns and shit until much later. But we did have the ability to make clay pots of lesser quality, but still.
Found in the Fertile Crescent at that time, these humans began to plant farms and curtail their nomadic lifestyle. They built irrigation to water their crops, one of the first kinds of permanent infrastructure. Neolithic people began to build buildings to live in and house themselves. As they began to domesticate animals, structures were built to house them too. Now these Neolithic...
Well, I don't know. Maybe... I'm not sure, because I recall not that long ago, there were big controversies about whether to fence in areas for herds. Of course, we've had fences for many, many hundreds of years. But I wonder if actually fencing in herds is a thing that ancient people did, because relatively recent ancient people, you know, around about the 1st century, for example, didn't really fence in their herds. That's why there's all those metaphors in the Bible and parables and other stories and so forth of shepherds having to chase down lost sheep because they're not freaking fenced in. So I don't know how universal that practice of like containing your flocks really was.
I mean, it would,
didn't have to learn how to build.
It would probably be kind of hard to find proof of it too, because what they were using for fences was most likely just like wooden stuff, which was biodegradable, which is long gone at this point. So, that's an interesting thought.
It's not just wood. Like, obviously, stacks of rocks. This is a thing farmers figured out very, very early, is in order to plant easily, especially if you're going to use a plow, whether it's a basic wooden plow pulled by an ox or something, or you're going to try to push it by hand, whatever the case may be, it's a lot easier to farm if you don't have giant fucking rocks in the middle of your field. And so one of the first things farmers did was start pulling all the rocks out of the ground that their actual active field was going to be. And this is sort of the start of where we got the idea of land ownership. If you moved all the rocks to the side of your field and you ended up with a wall of rocks, now you had an active demarcation of where your land begins. And so you can say, this is my land. Look at the damn fence, you know? So you could build fences out of stone. You could. It'd take a while, but you could. Goats, though, because goats climb vertical cliffs. Your stone wall, not going to stop a goat.
No. The cutest videos I ever see are like baby goats just like pouncing around and like jumping on everything. They're so cute.
I don't know how the fuck we ever thought we had domesticated goats. I had goats on the farm, as many of you know. I grew up on a farm. We had goats on the farm, and I helped build the barns that the goats lived in and so forth. Many a morning, I would go out to bring feed and water to the barns because they didn't have running water, so I had to carry the water too, which was just rude for a small little girl. Here, carry this big bucket of water for all the animals every damn day. You would think I would have more upper body strength, but not important. I'd go out to the barn, and one of the goats, usually the girl, but not always, was always on the roof of the barn. I have no idea how she got up there because it's like a full 12 feet before there's anything not vertical. And yet every morning, one of those fuckers was on the roof of the barn, and we'd have to go get a ladder so she could climb down. I swear, goats just levitate and they pretend to be climbing.
Yeah.
Permanent structures out of nothing. They were nomadic, but they often returned to the same place year after year and built permanent structures there, oftentimes for religious reasons. This is one of the interpretations.
Well, it's easy to say from the present. It was probably for religious reasons because religion seems to be ubiquitous now. But at the time, it was kind of just, it varied from people to people. Some people had like really intense superstitions, and other people groups didn't really care. They'd rather tell stories about heroes slaying dragons or whatever. And so you'd build structures, but you'd build structures for like preserving your food. Because as a hunter-gatherer, if you can save a surplus, that will save your life the next time there's a shortage.
Of Göbekli Tepe, a well-known archaeological site of this era located in southern Turkey. It was initially believed that this area was only seasonally inhabited and served a religious purpose. New evidence, however, suggests that humans may have permanently inhabited this site as early as 9000 BCE.
Okay, so there's controversy here. In fact, we will be going back to Göbekli Tepe later in the week. Well, maybe it's next week. Let me double check. Okay. Let's see. Where's today? Here's today. Okay, no, next week. Tomorrow is Why Do We Sleep? Friday is the Underground Railroad, and then of course the fundraiser for Helen. Link pinned in the chat. Please share that around. Monday, post Valentine's Day, we're talking Romans and romance. You know what? I'll share the window. Romans and romance. Tuesday, the history of fashion. Why do we do fashion? How decadent is our civilization that we're like, I'm gonna make colors and things. Like, what the hell? Wednesday, Deviant will be joining us for the Amarna letters. We're gonna learn all the hot goss from the other kingdoms that they were trying to gaslight the rulers of Egypt about. It'll be super fun. And then the day after that, Thursday next week, we're back to Göbekli Tepe to talk about the first writing. Join us for more on that. And then, of course, that Friday, the history of Black history.
Oh, so every
Because
Friday you're doing a Black History for this month.
Yeah, I'm really trying. I don't want to make it like the whole month, but
Yeah,
like it's important, you know.
I try
And then,
to
of
have
course,
more stuff, but I'm only having two things for Black History on my channel. But
well,
maybe
it's because you focusing on interviews, and don't get me wrong, interviews are great, but like I'm specifically not doing interviews. I'm trying to answer the questions that people want to know.
Yes.
It's me. I'm the people. But thank you all for coming along for the ride while I try to answer random things I get curious about.
It's always a fun ride.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should title the show Ember Has Questions. We need to stop rebranding our shows. Speaking of which,
I still call it Hot Topics. I can't get over it. It's still in my head.
Honestly, I think it may have been a better name. I realized that the rebrand, it sounded good on paper, but like
I like it.
Nobody knows what LTL stands for, and it is, I don't know. It seems to have driven people off. They're like, learning in an atheist community? I'm out, bitches, you know?
We have questions.
Yeah, I don't know.
Answers?
It's wild. But I mean, on the plus side, we've started to get okay, it's not just the name change. There's been many things that have happened, including the drama in early December, which caused some major disruptions. But whatever, such predicaments, we must forge ahead. But we have started to get people actually come back and watch the show again. So it's different people, but still appreciate y'all. Say Levy. Such predicaments. Göbekli Tepe. Not a city, though, for a couple of reasons, and we'll get to those in a bit.
The more that we learn about the Neolithic era, the more it becomes clear that this happened over thousands of years gradually and at different times and in different places. Therefore, there's no one point in the origin of cities that we can point to and say, aha, yes, you were the first city. Jericho might be the first ever city, but it could be just as likely that the first city was built somewhere else first, thrived for 1,000 years, and then disappeared. In fact,
and that's an important point. As we look for the first city, the best we can do is the oldest city we know about. Because again, a lot of these super ancient sites, these prehistory sites like Göbekli Tepe, were only discovered in the past 100 years. There's probably still quite a lot we have not found.
In fact, many scholars don't refer to the settlements of the Neolithic era to be cities at all, but instead proto-cities. Proto-cities were larger than their predecessors, but really only had about several thousand people at most. They often lacked things like a town.
In fairness, there are cities today that only have a few thousand people. Like,
oh, tell me about it. I know.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah, like,
I hate it
It
here.
would be considered
Get me
township
out.
and not the city, technically.
Mm-hmm.
What about controversial topic? I may as well change it back to hot topics if I'm going to do that. I don't know. It's
We'll figure it. No, it's fine.
We'll figure it out.
I was just so stuck with that hot topic name that I like in my calendar. I put down hot topics still. That's just me. But I know it's something.
I just solved the problem and write down Ember.
Hey, that's even better.
well, I mean, that's great for you, but I do other shows, and so like,
well, yeah, but see, that's the thing is, I know if it's at this time slot, I know what show this is. Whereas if it's other shows, I know it's a different one.
And I know I can't be on the other shows because I'll be at work anyway.
I don't know. I mean, actually, I never actually got to finish telling my story. When I was talking to SR yesterday, he started asking how Jav and Jugs got started, or how the morning show got started. And I told the story of Jav and Jugs, but I never quite got around. So SR, if you're watching, once we did that first full week of Jav and Jugs, I started doing this show every morning to prove we could do a show every morning, even though Jav and Jugs itself became like a Monday thing. Like I was doing it to do it because the people are like, oh, you can't have a long-term show that's hosted by women.
Wow. Proved you
Watch
wrong.
it.
I mean,
Prove you
We
wrong.
literally had our first man on here. When was it? Last week or the week before last? That was the
week before.
first. That was the first person, and he was special. Mm-hmm.
Because he got a note from Dog Shaped Dr. Kip saying that he's an all right fella.
Mm-hmm.
That's all thanks to
Kip. I'm never going to live that down. Name my dog Dr. Kip. It's never going to end.
I like it though. It's cute.
Yeah,
it is. But I think I still would have done it even if I knew all this. So it's become a thing.
I mean, if you can't embrace the humor in your own life, then like, why are you even alive? You know?
Yeah, why are you even alive? Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, look at me. I'm fucking ridiculous. My life is, I swear, my life is either a comic book or a horror story. Like my son was asking me the other day how he's like, I know you used to have a different car and now you have this car and it's great because it has heated seats, but like, what the fuck? And I'm like, okay, so, you know, the old car died, as cars often do from time to time. So I there's a long story. I'm going to skip it because even though we have time, we don't have time for this. Trust me. But I did the deal. I did the paperwork. I got all the stuff. I got the license plates and the tags and the tickets and the stickers and all the things. It was all arranged in a single day, which is getting increasingly harder to do. But I got it done. And then I go out to the car to leave, to pull away from the dealership, used dealership, because again, very poor. Put the key in the ignition, turn the key, radiator explodes.
No.
Right. Like the whole crew of the dealership is there doing the yay, we sold a car thing. And the radiator just goes boom.
No.
Oh my God.
I'm like, God is real and he hates me.
Oh my God. Wow.
They did replace the radiator, but they couldn't do it till Monday because it was like Saturday afternoon or something, and the mechanic wouldn't be in until Monday. So they were going to cover it.
Okay, that's good.
So I had to like find a way home with no car. It was awful. Shit like that happens all the time. Stuff that if it happened on a sitcom, you'd be like, all right, that's not really believable. My whole life is like that. So yeah, you have to learn to laugh at the things. So yeah, collapsalism says, be so confident you sound delusional at times. You know.
And I do all the time. I know I do. I don't understand until I'm talking about my damn self. Here we are.
I mean, like, we're over here being like, I don't see a God anywhere. Now, some of you who've been around for a minute may know that where the fuck? It's behind my mirror. I created a challenge. You know, all these theists are making straw man arguments about, you know, all you atheists are saying God created a stone so heavy he can't lift it. I created a stone. I made this stone. It's in an older video, so you may not have seen it. But this is an artificial sapphire. I made this stone. God can't lift it, though. I've had it on my desk for months. Still not lifted. Nope, God can't do it. So we don't even need these paradoxes of, can God create a stone so heavy he can't lift it? Can I, a mortal, create a stone that God can't lift? Yes. So far, I mean, I understand he's an eternal being and he may wait until after I'm dead. But until he moves that thing, I'm just not convinced. Sorry. So yeah. Anyhow, but the message collapsalism was trying to say is fucking love yourself. Like, be confident in yourself, in your badassery, in your intellect. Yes, you're going to make mistakes. I mean, we do a live show every fucking day where we talk about historical stuff that we ourselves are learning. That's the name of the show, Learn Together Live. We're going to make mistakes. That's okay. In fact, that's a good thing, because when you make a mistake, you get to learn something new. Just remember to say, I was wrong, and then learn the new thing. You know, it's fine.
I guess with my life, I have to get over the training, I was a failure if I don't get it right. Your faith, that was my indoctrination. Like, look at what you did. Look at how wrong you were.
Yeah.
And that's just self-reflection. Especially if it's something that will hurt somebody else. I can't believe that I thought that way about that individual, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I beat myself up like in that situation. But that's just me and how I feel about it a lot of times.
No, a lot of people are still dealing with childhood trauma. Sometimes it's religious trauma, but sometimes it's not even religious. Like there's a religious elements, but it's just some people are just bad people, whether there's religion involved or not.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a long time. I mean, especially in this patriarchal ass culture. Like, yeah, it's better than it used to be in that women are allowed our own bank accounts now and shit, but it's still, there's still so many voices saying, be quiet, be small, don't be an inconvenience, get out of the way, a man is talking, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Not anymore.
No. I mean, it's one of those things that I've noticed is, especially when I kind of learn to forget about everything everybody else thinks and I'm confident in myself, that's usually when the good stuff tends to happen to me. So
there is something to that. It's like the dating effect, the partner effect, whatever you want to call it. Like as soon as you get into a relationship, all of a sudden a gazillion suitors just emerge from the woodwork. Okay, in fairness, women have to deal with random people trying to slip into your DMs all the fucking time anyway. But like people who are a bit more serious, who are just not like, hey girl, what you doing later? They're like, hey, I like what you said there. Would you tell me more about your opinion on the thing? Like people who really want to actually, engage with you.
Yeah.
They appear out of the fucking woodwork. And I know this is true for men too. Like there's a whole fucking meme series about it on the interwebs about like the instant you get a girlfriend, all of a sudden women notice you, you know? It's because you're more confident. You have that new relationship energy that, first of all, I'm extra happy because new relationship, but also someone validated me as someone who's worthy of dating. And so, yeah, you're more confident. And that's what people notice.
I guess so.
Yeah. What are you saying? Lil, you were saying something.
I was agreeing.
Oh, okay. I don't know if you guys saw. I don't know, but like Monday, I thought she was saying. I was about to say something, but I realized I was about to cut her off, so I didn't want to do that. So that's why I shut up and let her finish what she was saying.
Oh, feel free to cut me off anytime.
No, I'm never going to do that because you have important stuff to say. Yeah, it was somebody in the chat Monday on Java and Jux, and then he came over to the channel on Monday and kind of said some creepy stuff to me. I don't know if anybody saw it. And I was like, are you serious? I hope he's not here today. But you were creepy if you are in here.
Who's being creepy?
Some guy. I don't even know. He would not really come on here. But yeah, it was some guy that was in the chat Monday. He was on Java and Jugs, and then
he followed over to your channel.
No, your channel. He came to both.
Oh,
he didn't come
no
to my
shit.
channel. I didn't have anything, but he was singling me out. Different stuff he was saying, and it kicked me out. And I was like, "Who are you?"
That's weird.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But yeah, I was not making me interested in you at all. I was no, that does not work.
Yeah, I guess some people are into that. I don't know.
Not me.
I don't know. But one thing I'm into is super chats for my infinite journey.
We are. Yeah, we are. Into that.
Who sends a 666 thank you journey and says, "Hail Nero and hail Ember, Kelly, and Lil." and meh to a god who could, but just doesn't wanna. We don't need no lazy gods around here. No, no.
No.
Why,
not at all.
why bother with lazy gods when you can have stunning and brilliant goddesses?
Yes.
Honestly,
I mean, my name
goddesses
is Lilith
are
after
better
all,
anyway.
so.
We have an empress.
Although,
We have
am
boobs.
I a goddess or a demon or the first vampire? I don't know.
Why not all of the above? I mean, remember,
Oh,
like in the ancient
mermaid.
times, there weren't like different types of things. Like everything was gods, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like Nyx, the mother of night, was gods. Shit, what was her name? Tiamat, the mother of all monsters, gods. I mean, also Titans, but like Titans were just like a flavor of gods kind of thing, and also that's specifically the Greek stuff. Anyway, I'm just picturing like someday somebody's gonna draw me like Eoster, but instead of owls and bunnies, I'll have boobies and I don't know, garlic bread.
Love boobies.
Don't give me ideas. I can't draw, but I should learn.
I know. I should reopen my Discord and put in a fan art section. I closed it because of well, it's still there, but it's like not open to new members because of the thing that happened in early December. And like,
oh
yeah, when you have armies of people stalking you everywhere and being all threatening and whatnot, you need to like close some shit down. It was a bit of an oof. So yeah.
Well, we still survived.
We're trying to get somewhere. Probably. Tangents. People come here for the tangents. It's
I know.
Yeah, we were doing a thing, right?
Yeah, the first city.
Were we
Now,
doing something here?
When I can remember, I remember. Well, this was the first civilization, if I remember correctly, was Mesopotamia. That's how I remember.
Well, that depends on who you ask.
Okay, but that's what I learned when I was in school.
But that's because that's what's taught in schools, right?
Okay,
but like there are indications of civilization in lots of other places way, way, way earlier. It depends on what you mean by civilization. Now, as I said in the beginning, civilization is, some might say, the art of living in cities. So you need cities for that. And so maybe Mesopotamia was first. There are definitely other cultures that were in the vicinity of citydom, depending on where we want to draw the line of what makes a city. And we're going to get to that.
Okay.
Hopefully, we may get to that.
Center, monuments, major marketplaces, things what we might associate with cities today. A great example is the proto-city of Çatalhöyük, built around 7000 BCE in present-day Turkey. It was
okay. Çatalhöyük. Yes, this is some cool shit right here. So, proto-cities. What the fuck is a proto-city? Well, first we're going to look at an example. So, here is the wiki entry for Çatalhöyük. See, folks, I did do research. I'm not just full of tangents today. It's a Neolithic city. It's a controversial one. It's been excavated a few different times because it keeps having controversy. Like the first excavator, this James Mellart guy, was like fabricating relics or some shit or illicitly selling them. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. But like the next archaeologist was one of his students who wanted to use the site to test this wackadoo hypothesis about archaeology that you could like change the past by imbuing your preferred interpretation onto an artifact. It would make that have happened in the past. Basically just holding up a thing, guessing, and because that's what you want it to be, that turns into what the thing was. The past shifts to make your intentions today real, or some bullshit like that. So the first guy got arrested, the second guy got canceled, and the third person, they did well. Now it's under the direction of the state, like the I forget the name of the damn thing, but it's the National Union of Anatolian Culture Preservation, something like that. It's in Turkish, so it's a translation anyway. But they worked on it for almost a decade. Funding's been an issue, and it's a lot less famous than some of the sites. It's not as old as some of the sites, but it is pretty fucking old. It was settled somewhere around 7500 BCE. Maybe. It has been identified enough. It's become a UNESCO heritage site. And what's really interesting is that it's on the Kanya Plain, southeast of the present-day city of Kanya. Well, okay, it's really interesting because it's an ancient proto-city. But coincidentally, tangentially, you might say, it's near the modern-day city of what was Iconium. And what's really cool is that Iconia never actually changed its name. It's just the evolution of language over all the years. In Roman times, it was called Iconium. And then people started calling it Konia. And now it's Kanya. Like, it just evolved. And like, this is right next to that. So it's so cool to find an ancient city that's still there, even though it's a different city. But it's the same city. It was like never not inhabited.
How did I not know Turkey had a volcano?
I didn't either. That's new.
How did I not know
didn't
that?
either. I didn't either. Yeah.
What about what now?
The volcano.
Turkey has a volcano.
Yeah.
Oh, holy shit! Yeah, Mount Ararat.
No,
No, Mount Hassan. Approximately 140 kilometers from the twin cone volcano Mount Hassan.
Oh, well, of course, there's other volcanoes. Yeah.
I did not know that though.
I don't really know much about Turkey at all anyway, so I won't accept the meat.
Oh, the whole peninsula. I mean, it's trapped between 3 continents that are all squishing together. It's going to be geologically active.
Yeah, I knew that. I'm just like, I just don't know why I didn't think volcano other than Mount Ararat.
It's fun. Very random, but it blew my mind. I got to see my son on Sunday, and we were watching like the weirdest nature shit. It was a production of Daily Dose of Internet, which is just random clips from the internet, but usually wholesome. But this was like a compilation of nature stuff. And one of the clips was a boat started sailing, and like the next morning they were sailing through rocks. It was just it was like from horizon to horizon, it was rocks. The ocean had been replaced with rocks.
Wow.
There was still water under the rocks. They were sailing on the water, but the rocks were floating rocks, an ocean of floating rocks. I'd lose my. I'd wake up and be like, clearly we're in the Twilight Zone. What is happening? But it was an underwater volcano erupting, and the pumice that formed underwater had a very low density, and so it bobbed the surface. Floating rocks.
Pumice.
Wild.
Pumice is awesome. That was like one of the first rocks that I had as a kid, and like I was showing it off to everybody that it floated. I was like 4 or something.
I saw how happy he was to have a picture of that rock. He was like laid out.
Shut up. There was a picture of a rock, and I look like a kid in a candy store touching this rock. And the reason it's so exciting is because that is the oldest rock on Earth.
Ah, yes. You've shown us this pic before.
Yes. He was happy, excited.
Now,
Lovely
is it the
picture,
oldest
though.
rock on Earth, or is it the oldest rock on Earth? As in, did an asteroid older than Earth crash on Earth?
From
and we're like,
Earth.
aha.
It's the oldest rock from Earth that we know of.
That we know. There's always that asterisk on things. When we're trying to find the oldest thing, it's always that we know of. And when we get to the end of this episode, it's going to be the same thing. Our final verdict is always that we know of. And that's rough. But it gives us the ability to go back to places. Like when we were talking with Dr. Kip about the first laws, it was predicated on when the first writing was. But now it's maybe there's writing older than that. We just didn't recognize it as writing because it doesn't look like the writing we make today. Maybe. So join us for that show because it should be pretty neat. But if that pans out, that'll still only be the oldest we know of until we find something even older. Possibly. I don't know. In any case, Catalhuic is it's a proto-city. So what the fuck is a proto-city? It's a large, dense Neolithic settlement, largely distinguished a city from a city by its lack of planning and centralized rule. So a proto-city is basically it's a big gathering of people. You've got all the people, you've got all the buildings, but there's no plan and there's no government. It's just people living together. And it's mostly fine, except when like a gang comes into town, you know, or something. Then it's like, what do you do? Because everyone is just a private citizen. Like there's no building codes. There's a lot of, and you know, we've seen this with Göbekli Tepe, where they'll build buildings where one wall is shared with the next building, or if you have 3 buildings, you only have to build one more wall and a roof, and you're good. And they did that, and like it effectively, it's one big building with lots of different rooms that aren't directly connected. You have to pop up to the roof to go over to another room. So it's effectively the city is one building. We hadn't invented streets yet. It was inconvenient. So that's a proto-city. One continuous building that is separate buildings, sort of, but also no central authority. No, there's no municipality with authority over the place. And that seems to be the distinction. It's not people living together. It's a distinct municipality. Like a kingdom is not the same as the king. A kingdom can persist across multiple rulers, you know? That sort of thing. So yeah, Catalhuic, it's fascinating though, because like, for example, here's a mirror that they found in Catalhuic. They had mirrors in 7,000 BCE. This is why all these old religions talk about bull gods, because they had these big fucking bull skulls all over the place. And remember, we've only excavated a small part of this site because of all the controversy. But here's one of the things. First of all, rectilinear buildings, you'll remember from the Göbekli Tepe video, this was an evolution itself. But we see the stones more carefully cut, plastered over. We see the corners. So it's a little more advanced than Göbekli and Karahan Tepe. But also the horns, like they built with the horns as part of the structure. What is going on here? Is it just because they had so much cattle, it seemed like handy building material? Or is there like a reason for that? We don't know yet. But there's a lot of cool shit here, is the point. They had like a lot of this is just photos of the researchers doing research, which is cool, but like not what I'm looking for. Sunset over the mound site. This is another thing. All the cool shit we find here, what we see from the outside is just a mound. It's a mound made by human habitation. But that's all it is. It's just it's a pile of dirt. You have to dig into it to find the artifacts and things. That's another. They covered this one over much like they did Göbekli Tepe, so they didn't fuck up the site. But they also built like a recreation of what one of these houses might be like. Now there's a front door for like modern human easy access, but there's a ladder for like where the actual roof hole would have been. Most important, perhaps, the kiln. Because a kiln is also an oven, but it's a special oven that you can cook more permanent pottery in, which is really, really handy. But you can cook other things in it too. Like, for example, while you're roasting pottery, you could put your bread on top to get a more controlled, even heat and bake your bread. For example, you know. And that's another good reason to have holes in your roofs to let the smoke out and shit. But yeah, it's very cool stuff that we're finding there. But it is a proto-city. So I realize we're very quickly running out of show. So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. And Wikipedia article. What the hell is a city? The woodcut of Nuremberg, 15th century. Very cool. Very city-like. Big walls. A lot of people make that a category of what makes a city. It's not just people living together. It's people living together with some kind of defensive structure or process or something. Like a lot of cities today do not have walls. Very few do. But most of them have police departments who are often armed or at least have access to weapons. So, that's something anyway. But yeah, cities. Definitions vary, but the Wikipedia definition is a human settlement of a substantial size, but it has different meanings in different places around the world, cultures, who you're talking to. There's no universally agreed upon definition for what makes a city, but there are a few things people look for. Like, some have drinking water and sewers, but not all very few ancient cities had that. So what makes a city? Well, let's join our friend here and find out.
Before we start, I'm gonna have to dip. I got my interview with Dr. Kip in about 30 minutes, so I need to get myself together. Thank you for having me on. Thank you, people, for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
We love you, Kelly.
Love you too. Hugs.
Hugs.
And, for those of you who are new here, first of all, please subscribe. It helps. But also, this stream will automatically take you over to Kelly's when we wrap up here, because that's the cool magic of stream redirect powers, which is one of my favorite tools on YouTube. And on that note, there's another tool on YouTube that I really, really want. We do have a couple of things. I'm doing fundraisers for a few different things, not just Helen's fundraiser on Friday. Please share that around, but like ongoing fundraisers through my store. For example, we have this pride shirt, protect trans kids sort of deal. All proceeds from that go to the Trevor Project. There's also another coffee mug where the proceeds go to RAIN and abuse crisis hotline. It's great, but I want to do real fundraisers directly on the YouTube channel, the way I can do live redirects directly through the YouTube channel. But to do that, YouTube hides the button for that at 10,000 subscribers, just like the button for the live redirect is hidden behind the line for 1,000 subscribers. So we need to get to 10,000 subscribers. And I realize from our position here, that's a big ask, but it's very, very doable, because consider this: brand new grifters and woo-woo peddlers and preachers can take a channel from 0 to over 100K in 2 to 3 months. It's very possible to make 10K. We just have to reach the right people. And that's where you come in with the share button. It's really powerful, folks. So please punch the damn thing, spread the word far and wide, and help us get the channel where it needs to go so I can do fundraisers. Because, it's a goal. I need goals to try to keep breathing. So yeah, there's that. But as always, thank you all so much for joining. Now let's try to get a damn answer. What makes a city? What is the oldest city? I'm never gonna get to my apologist supercut today, am I? It's fine. I could have done it right then when I mentioned the grifters and apologists, but
Child presented a now famous list of 10 traits of early cities, and these traits had to be deducible from archaeological data. When a settlement is dug up, what can we look at to know whether it was a city? Can we distinguish it from a village?
Okay, so why do we even need to know if a thing is a city? What's the difference between a large village and a city? Why do we bother making a distinction? Well, our friend here is going to tell us the characteristics that archaeologists need to be able to find to say this is definitely a city, and hopefully why these things matter. So let's find out.
Although our understanding of the details of the processes that created early cities in different parts of the world has advanced considerably since Child's time, his basic model has held up remarkably well. Most of Child's criteria are still recognized as indicative of key developments in the rise of early complex societies. They are: 1. Size and population density. Cities are more extensive and more densely populated than villages or towns.
So I suppose that's sort of an important criteria, because it's not just size, right? Like you can have a large village that just takes up a lot of space, or you could have something that otherwise might be a city, but is spread across. Like, for example, here in New York State, we have the city of Rome. All our roads lead there. It's true. But It's deviant. That's not true. You need to be a registered nonprofit to do a fundraiser on YouTube. Not so. Lots of people, like One Topic, for example, has a constant fundraiser for the Trevor Project going. You need to be a nonprofit to be the beneficiary of a fundraiser, but you don't have to be one to do one, you see. Yeah, City of Rome. It has like a city center and like 20 blocks of urban, and the rest is forest. But they have like this huge area staked out as city limits. It's a weird thing. I'm not sure why or how. The largest desert in the northeastern United States is within the city limits of the city of Rome, and it's a pine forest. Everything is weird around here. It's nothing makes sense. Nothing is what it is, right? Like, I wear a size 2, but I'm also extremely overweight. Nothing makes sense. City of Rome, giant forest, but it is a desert because it meets the criteria of the no rainfall thing, right? It's just a weird kind of pine that can get away with drinking once a year or something, and the soil is all sand, and it just it's weird up here. No wonder Rod Serling was from this area. It is the Twilight Zone.
The question is, how large and dense do they have to be? This is not a hard and fast rule, but usually we expect a city to be at least 20 hectares in size. Some people suggest 30 or 40, and to have at least 10,000 people living in it. Number 2, a complex division of labor. In village life, people tend to make things for themselves. In a city, there are full-time, specialized craftspeople, merchants, officials, transport workers, etc.
And that's sort of one of my main criteria as well, because like you will have some craft people. Every village had a blacksmith, right? Because you need your blacksmithing done locally for your farm to function. But if you want like an artist, for that, you need a city.
Since we can discover their shops and places of work, this can be discerned archaeologically. Number 3, the production of surplus by commoners to pay for government. This gets to the heart of the economic and political transformations that brought about early complex societies. As complexity increased, the leadership would require or demand payment for services that they rendered.
Well, it kind of goes the other way. In some ways it's socialism. It's people saying if we each give a small percentage of what we make, we can have roads and fire departments and things. But yeah, sometimes a warlord moves in and starts imposing taxes on people. It's a lovely city you've got here. To be a real shame if the Golden Horde came through or whatever, you know. I will protect you from the other raiders, but you gotta pay me. And so like sometimes you get government in other ways, like either it's imposed by conquest, but the wise conquerors would offer perks. They'd be like, we're going to build, wells and libraries and all sorts of things that will make your lives as citizens better. And then when the next conqueror comes along, people fight to defend the first conqueror because he made their lives better. And this is how civilizations function. One civilization versus another. Because ultimately, the purpose of a civilization is for us to act in a collective fashion to maximize the possibility of our own offspring reaching adulthood and reproducing themselves. So civilization is literally what is best for the babies. That's what it is for. It is a purpose. The civilization that does that best will win. Even without military conflict, people will defect and join the better civilization unless they're kept under the thumb of a worse civilization. Like certain states here in the US who would be much, much better off if we joined Canada, but we're threatened with military force by the United States. So, that sort of deal. But as a general rule, the better civilization
we default to Mexico?
is the crappier one. What's that?
I think we would default to Mexico. Or at least my state would.
I don't know. I think Texas might try to give another shot at doing its own thing.
Dear God, get me out of here, please.
The Kingdom of Texas.
No. Unless I'm
Wheels.
queen. If I'm queen, then that's fine with me. But otherwise, get me out of here.
I don't know. You've got a lot of strong candidates for queen. I mean, Arden still lives in Texas, for example.
True. We could have a council of queens. That might work.
Just openly the matriarchy.
Yes. I'm on
That
board.
would
Let's
be
go.
fun. Hell yeah. All right, I'm driving people away. So let's get to more of our criteria.
This can be seen archaeologically in the remains of government storage facilities. Number 4, the formation of social classes. Often,
I don't know that that's necessary for there to be a city. Like, you're going to have people who like do certain things, like the crafter class, because the farmer learns farming from their parents, the blacksmith learns blacksmithing from their parents, and sometimes there's some social mobility, but for the most part, crafts are passed on generationally. So you've got castes for practical reasons, but also like bureaucrats and administrators aren't necessarily inherited positions. So I don't know that that's necessarily a requirement to be a city.
civil, religious, and military leaders and officials absorbed a major share of the concentrated surplus, creating elites. Number 5, centralization of power. In egalitarian societies, power tends to be widely distributed among the people. But when states form, centralization takes place, and this can be seen archaeologically in residences built for rulers. Mind you, some have...
Well, okay. There's a bit to this. There's a few different ways this can happen. Again, it can be imposed from the outside or it can arise from within. It's like somebody needs to fix the potholes. Well, nobody wants to do that. We all have our own lives and we all have our own jobs. So we got to draw straws, or maybe we'll vote. We'll do a vote. We'll cast ballots. And this year, Socrates has to fix the potholes. We voted fairly. This year it's Socrates' job. Next year, someone else will do it. So now we have an elected office for the Department of Highways, like sometimes there's a necessity and it leads to a democratic appointment of an official. That's one way it can arise. It doesn't have to be someone goes, I can exploit everyone and take some of their money, and I will trick them by offering highway maintenance services. It doesn't have to be nefarious that way.
Take an issue with this one, saying that a city and a state are not necessarily the same thing. Couldn't there be a city in which power is still decentralized? Couldn't there, for that matter, be a city without social classes? There could, I suppose, be a large settlement without centralization or classes, but would it in fact be a city? An urban center is characterized not simply by how large it is, but also by how it functions. A political hierarchy is one of its characteristics, is it not? And this creates...
Is it though? Like, this seems like it's circular. It's saying we've defined it this way, so anything that doesn't meet the definition isn't the thing, and therefore we have no exceptions to our definition because we've excluded everything that doesn't meet the definition.
These elites.
Yeah.
I suppose we could argue about that, but whatever the case, most archaeologists see centralization of power as a sign of urban development. Number 6, monumental architecture. This would be monumental public buildings and lesser monuments, any structure displayed as a symbol or to convey a message.
Now, this is a really cool one because we see even today, lots of villages have monuments. They'll have like a statue or a monument to veterans of foreign wars or whatever. Like, monuments are things humans do, but a city, to show their power, builds bigger monuments. Like, but this keeps scaling up as you take your cities and you start to combine them to form nations. They build even bigger monuments like that, as we discussed with Deviant a little while back. That's the whole point of the pyramids, was to show all the other nations, look how stupidly powerful our nation is, that our monuments are literal mountains. We built that. Fuck you.
And they're still there. And they're still there.
So yeah, I mean, that's sort of the thing. It's not just to invoke civic pride or what have you, or honor the ancestors, but to show your neighbors you're mighty and don't fuck with you. Look at all the battles we've won. Don't challenge us in military combat.
Now, monuments existed before cities. We see them in smaller settlements in the Neolithic period, for example. But nearly all ancient cities, complex societies, have monuments. And this is because politically or economically powerful persons often sponsor monumental architecture as an expression of their power. Civic ceremonial buildings and layouts can be used.
You do still see that today. Well, not so much today, but like in the recent past, in the earlier robber baron era of the late 19th, early 20th century, the Rockefellers had way too much honestly, they still have too much fucking money, but they don't even blip the radar on the robber barons of today. But that's neither here nor there. For both tax reasons and PR reasons, the Rockefellers put a whole bunch of money into building public libraries all over the country. Many of those public libraries are still standing because they built them out of fucking stone. They wanted nice libraries, and they got them. And I mean, it was a public utility. There are libraries. Literacy rates shot upward because of this specific action. But it was also a monument to look at how wealthy I am. I'm so wealthy. I'm just dripping with benevolence and philanthropy that I'm just handing out whole buildings full of books. And remember, you have to architecturally engineer for a library because books are really heavy. If you forget to factor in the weight of the books, your library will collapse.
Yeah. Or bookstores for that matter.
It's another good reason to build them out of stone. And also the fact that books are flammable is a third good reason to make them out of stone. I'm starting to think it wasn't just practical or showing off.
Yeah.
But the point is, monuments to show off wealth and power. Granted, that's not the only purpose, but that's definitely a purpose. Because now the Rockefellers can go to like the Met Gala and whatever and be like, my family taught the whole country how to read. It's a bold claim, but not that far off.
Yeah, and
remember,
to be fair, that's probably a better claim than some of the others have. So
it's a lot better than saying I poisoned everyone in Flint, Michigan with shitty lead pipes, you know?
Yeah.
To legitimize power because they can be instruments for shaping people's behavior, attitudes, and emotions. Number 7, bureaucracy. Originally, child just said writing, but we've broadened it to include any kind of formal record keeping. And this,
right, that's kind of important. Like having writing is great, but not necessarily a factor to have a city. You know, it's questionable. But what you do need is some kind of record keeping. You can't administer anything if you can't keep records.
Writing. Writing is necessary.
This is an important and universal characteristic of cities. Number 8, regular trade over long distances. Trade, of course, existed long before cities, but cities have the power to trade farther than villages do. So evidence of regular foreign trade is a sign that we're looking at a city. Now,
and there's a couple of reasons for that. One is because of the sheer size. Like people from afar, like if you're a local producer, you're going to go to your local village market or whatever. But if you're producing something big or expensive, or you're a trader, your profession is to trade, you might buy up the excess corn from the village market and then bring it to the city to resell, because the city will buy it. So you'll travel a lot farther to trade in the city than you would if you're just doing it locally. Therefore, cities can trade farther because it works the other way around too.
The last 2 points I'm not sure are necessary, but I will share them with you as they are part of Child's list and still used by some to distinguish cities. Number 9, development of practical sciences. This would be things like math, geometry, and astronomy, which did exist before cities, but all cities seem to have them and to have made significant advancements in them. And
that's the main thing, is advancements, because again, you need that surplus of food supply so that people can specialize in things. Medicine is one of my go-tos. In order to have doctors, you have to have city level surpluses. Having a village farm market, you might have like a midwife or a herbal healer kind of thing, but to have like a proper physician who's not just trying to heal people, but studying how humans work to advance the knowledge of medicine, that takes a city.
Number 10, conceptualized and sophisticated styles of art. This is the least useful and relevant trait for identifying cities. A city's art is not necessarily more sophisticated than what is found in Neolithic times. And does a city even need to have it? It's true that most ancient rulers adopted an ideological program.
We have a very pragmatic host on this video. He's like, art? Like, what good even is that? Yo.
I think you could absolutely throw that in there because that's a really good sign of like there's other stuff than just people doing the bare necessities to survive. There are people out there making art just to make art, which obviously we had it in Neolithic times, but you tend to get a lot more of it when you don't have people who are having to farm their own food all the time. When you have that surplus, you have the ability to do other things.
Like we said with the cave art, it shows that people didn't have to hunt and gather all the time. Cities enable them to be artists, to make it their full-time job, much like clerics and other technically non-essential people. But there's more to it than that. Just like the monuments, art is definitional to a culture. Like, for example, think of New York City. You're probably not picturing just a vast, expansive building. You're picturing the architecture, or perhaps a giant-ass statue that an artist made in the harbor, or Brooklyn Bridge. Like, there's art in architecture as well, you know? Like, it's not just brutalist bricks. There's arches and decks and gargoyles and shit that doesn't need to be there. And that's what's memorable about it. That's what shows the character of the city, and it hints at what goes on there, what you can expect there, the possibilities of the place, and gives it an overall sense of spirit. Art is the city. The rest of it is just where the art happens.
Yeah. I agree with that.
A visual representation that promoted their interest. And if that is found somewhere, it's a significant sign. But I think we can have a city without it. All right, now that we know what to look for, what are the 5 earliest known cities in the world? We'll start with...
Here we go, folks, and we got to go quick. I know it's almost time, so I'm gonna try to speed run this. He's gonna want to talk a lot about all of them, and I'm not gonna let him. Hopefully.
Number 5, Jericho. Some people...
Okay, cool. Jericho. We mentioned that in the first one. Now, Jericho is not Jericho. It's Jericho, right? Like, we're looking at ancient Jericho, the mound that's in the middle of modern Jericho, like we saw at the beginning of the video. But also, Jericho was not continuously inhabited. This is talking about like an ancient site that's on the same site of modern Jericho. It's not a continuous city, but this is the site of one of the oldest cities that meets the criteria for a city. So there's that.
People might have thought this would be higher in the rankings, but although the site of Jericho is one of the earliest known settlements in the world, it didn't become a city until the early Bronze Age. The site is located in the Jordan Valley, about 10 kilometers north of the Dead Sea, and yes, this is the place referred to in the Bible, though we are looking at a time long before then. The name of the site of Susa...
I skipped too far. This is one of the reasons to sometimes use the YouTube videos, is I can use the chapter breaks to skip around when I need to. So yeah, it was inhabited for ages, but didn't become a city until later. And there's a few other places like this that'll crop up where a place was inhabited for a long time, abandoned for a few hundred years, and then people came back and made it into a city.
By an earthquake, it will be rebuilt again. Number 4, Susa. The site of Susa lies in Iran, between the lower Mesopotamian plains and the Zagros highlands. The earliest occupation at Susa was during the late Neolithic period. Even at that time, it achieved supreme cultic and political significance in the region, with a massive, monumental mud brick plaque.
Notice, once again, we're looking at like mounds and shit. Occasionally we see something rectangular poking up out of the dirt, but it's mostly dirt. We got to excavate because it's been thousands of years.
Platform rising in a series of steps up to perhaps 20 meters above the plain. Stamp seals have also been found from this period. Then
these are going to be really important when we go back to Göbekli Tepe. So keep these in mind, folks, because there's a lot to be said about what these are, what they're for, what they represent, and all sorts of other things.
Between 3700 and 3100 BCE, Susa grew to 25 hectares in size, and massive monumental architecture on the Acropolis was built. We see the first appearance of sophisticated administrative devices, only one step removed from early writing. And figurative iconography found there points to the existence of high-status males, or gods, engaged in military acts and large-scale construction.
It's a neat thing how they're like high-status males or gods. We can't really tell because they're at certain points in history. What is the difference between a god and a legendary hero? Like in Irish mythology, for example, Bran, whose skull is said to be buried under the current day location of the Tower of London. He was a larger than life dude, but even though he's revered as a god now through an apotheosis process, it's a whole other discussion we don't have time for. But like, even though he's held to be a god, it's known as part of his mythology that he was a living, breathing man. So, you know, where's the line? Anyway, we've got more cities to get to. So let's get to them.
And up to half the population of the Susiana Plain was living there. Number 3, Nekhen. Nekhen, known also by its Greek name, Hierakonpolis, is closely linked to the emergence of the Egyptian state in the pre-dynastic period. It was the seat of power for early rulers, and Narmer, the one who united Upper and Lower Egypt.
Narmer! We were seeing that name earlier. I'm sure Deviant is absolutely tickled.
For the very first time, it is believed to have had his royal residence there. Nekhen today is in Upper, that is, southern Egypt, about 2 kilometers west of the Nile River. But we believe the river ran much closer to it in ancient times, between 4000 and 3800 BCE.
Those damn rivers do move around a bit, but notice all the cities are like near where rivers used to be. It's almost like when the river moved, people all moved away or something and abandoned the site. Almost like water's kind of important or something.
The first settlers arrived there and formed a village. Over the next few centuries, it grew with increasing complexity, and between 3400 and 3200, it was in the process of urbanizing. Remains of a
and I realize we're in a hurry, but water is important. So, epicwaterfilters.com, enter code EMBER15, 15% off. Capitalism. I honestly don't know if I've sold a single one. I haven't heard from that company since, but it's still funny.
ceremonial complex have been found there, monumental architecture, evidence of a hierarchical structure, specialized production centers, and a perimeter wall. Egyptian writing was beginning to develop during that period too. By 3200, it had developed into a major...
What in the fuck are we looking at? Like, I get that he's showing, like, carving art and whatnot, but, like, what is that lion doing to that woman?
Are we sure that's a woman?
Is he eating her? Oh, well, look at the shape of the hips. Is he eating her out or is he eating her out? Like, what is? You know what?
I do not know.
It's probably fine. It's just art. Let's go on to. We'll try to go to the next city.
To have ruled. And number one, Brock.
Listen, Deviant, just because a person has a beard does not mean they're a man. Let's be.
For many years, I have said.
Shit, we went too far. How did I go too far?
City. It prospered for 1,000 years.
We were, like, right at the end of the next city.
The next city on the list I thought was going to be number one as I was preparing for this video, but it turns out not. I'm talking about, yes, the city of Uruk in southern Mesopotamia.
Uruk and Ur and I think Eridu is the other one. Like, these were the pre-Babylon cities that are often hailed as the oldest cities. It turns out Uruk is one of the oldest cities.
Mm-hmm.
Neat.
Mesopotamia, known today as Warta. Between 4000 and 3800 BCE, Uruk grew to at least 70 hectares in size. It became a full-fledged city by about 3700.
Oh, look, another mound.
Uruk was walled and divided into a religious administrative sector, a residential sector, and an industrial sector. It expanded.
Now that is cool. One of the oldest cities, and it was still developed enough, advanced enough, that it reached a level where there were parts of the city set aside for specific functions. We don't even do that in many modern cities.
to perhaps 250 hectares by 3100 BCE if we include its dependent hamlets, and to about 600 hectares by 2800 BCE, 10 times the area of Susa in the same period. And the two major cultic precincts of Eanna and Kulab, dedicated to Inanna and Enlil, respectively, were constructed with multiple monumental buildings, often interpreted.
Inanna, goddess over possibly, okay, he said it's number 2, so it's not like the first city, but like one of the first cities, and one that's still legendary today. Like all these other cities, they're cool names, but Uruk, people know that name, you know?
As temples,
Thank you,
but more
Tolkien.
recently understood as public assembly halls.
What's that?
Thank you, Tolkien. The Urukai. Yeah.
I don't think that's what he meant, but I mean, from the Epic
it's
of
what I always
Gilgamesh,
think of. I can't help it.
like it's one of the oldest stories, and it's still like well, okay. Plot wise, it's not so great, but you know what? We don't have. Maybe we'll get into it another time. I don't know. I've had mixed results trying to do Gilgamesh stuff. Like every time I try, it gets like 7 views. People just do not care. But maybe we'll figure out an angle for it or something. Anyway, number 1.
And number 1, Brock. For many years,
Brock, the oldest city. Let's go. Hey guys, let's go to Brock and see a movie. It's fine.
As I have said, Uruk is the earliest known city. Uruk is the earliest known city. But as is often the case in history and archaeology, new evidence is found, and we have to update. That seems to be the case here. Tel Brak, or just Brak for short, is a site in northeastern Syria, near the modern village of Tel Brak. We know the settlement was called Nagar in ancient times, but that was later, and so we're not sure if it was called that in the period we're looking at. Evidence.
Cities do be changing names, especially when they're that fucking old. All right, so that answers our question. What is a city? How does civilization work? Why are there civilizations? Why do cities get built? And what is the first city, asterisk, that we know of? So we did the thing. We answered all the questions we needed to answer to achieve our goal, and we did. We found the first city, asterisk, that we know of. Hooray! I really need like graphics for celebration, but I can do this. Alrighty, folks, we're over and extra over because Kelly's either starting or is already started or something. We need to get over there because she's doing an interview with Dr. Kip. It's going to be cool. I hope you join us. The stream should take you over automatically. As always, thank you all so much for joining us. Normally when I get this many super chats, I kind of want to read them to say thank you to everybody, but I don't think I can in time. Collapsitalism, several super chats. Thank you so much. My Unfinished Journey, Hail Nero, Hail Ember, Kelly, and Lil, and man to a god who could but just doesn't wanna. Sapphire Light, the world sucks, but y'all are treasures. Thank you so much. And so much cool stuff from Collapsitalism. Be so let's end on this one. Be so confident you sound fucking delusional. Thank you all so much for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow. Mwah. Thanks to all our patrons and top-level members for January. Miranda, Karen Butcher, Jessica the Transmetal Alchemist, Robin Webster, Maya Adkisson, Jimmy Tux, Ian Chen, Lilith, Ember Lynn, The Barely Bearable Atheist, Eric Wander, Jason Jacoby, Lil of All Trades, Deviant Outcast, Secular Feelinist, Kelly King, the Detroit Atheist Queen, Geo Sam, Thriver Scapegoat, The Godless Engineer, Why Because Weed Bro, and Katie Bluebird. And you can add your name here next month by signing up at patreon.com/betterthanember or by joining Emberships here on YouTube at the Cinder level, which also includes all the custom emojis, tons of member-exclusive content, member-only live streams, and a bunch of other stuff. I deeply appreciate all the supporters who keep this channel going. Thank you so much. Because of you, we're building a wonderful community that I'm very proud of.
Just like a spark that's